Welcome back to the grand finals of the Korean Star League Week 3, the community-driven and created tournament to support the best players in the world and give us great games for the fans. You know who's given us too many great games, especially recently? It is the Protoss. Not the one we need, but the one we deserve. It's herO. On the other side, you're not going to be the least bit surprised to see the most consistent Zerg player in the world. It's Solar. Battling it out in this best of 5. Adepts already finding their way in. Trying to poke at Solar's defenses, and not the least bit surprised to see these two just so consistent both in playing these online tournaments and getting to this level of them. And if you like this level of StarCraft, then hopefully you'll like this video. Maybe even subscribe if you haven't gone so far before. And then, in that description that occasionally a person or two reads, you can find more info about supporting the Korean Star League. In fact, planning on a larger, kind of a one-off tournament later on in the year. But, here we are. Oracle first. herO sticking with his relatively standard opener. Setting those 2 adepts in was quite a commitment. Just going straight for the dry. He gets a drone. Takes a lot of damage on the Oracle. Solar already has Zerglings on the other side of the map. Another Oracle comes out. The Oracle energy is definitely something that you have to manage in the early game. They get tired easily, like all of us in our old age. So, if you're forced to flip on that pulsar beam too early, just to kill a few lings, obviously that's going to hurt your opportunities later on. And right now, the ling's coming back around. herO does not have anything on his third base to really defend. 3 lings are not going to cancel it, no, but a lot of little things going right for Solar, and not quite coming together for herO so far. He's got interesting wall off here. I mean, there's no early all-in. Solar not well known for early all-ins when he can avoid it. Occasionally he'll throw a timing in there, but otherwise he'll sit back, he'll build up the queens, the drones, and get the upgrades. And right here, once again, he's relying on it. Loses 1 queen to the oracles, but they're both badly bruised now and are not going to be much of a threat besides maybe stasis wards or just general scouting. In fact, herO may at some point want to recall those for defense. We'll have to see. The adepts spot the third. They see the evolution chamber upgrading. +1 melee is the obvious choice, and indeed it's being made here. herO can expect that relatively confidently. Oracle's trying to get back in, but the queens strongly suggesting they remove themselves from the immediate area. Or, as they like to say, get off my lawn! Well, the oracles say, technically, I'm not on the lawn, I'm hovering above it, which is semantics, but technically correct, but in the worst and most annoying possible way. Zerglings? Well, I said the wall wouldn't be tested and wouldn't be an issue. Well, it looks like a bit of one. No banelings at the moment. In fact, not even a baneling nest yet. Instead, opting for the roach one. Wouldn't be surprised to see a baneling nest added on, but that's a lot of Zerg. Is he actually going to fight? There's 3 oracles. How many oracles on the map? 4 oracles! And even more oracles! Continuing to produce them. Stasis actually connects back at home here, but a Spire on the way. Solar. Interesting choice. Of course, oracles do not hit up, but they do come out of the Stargate, which is usually a built-in counter to essentially anything out of the Spire before Broodlords, and even then in the form of carriers. But we're a long way off of that. That adept, apparently, yeah, it can hold the door. A whole lot of charge lots. Charge lot oracle timing. What a crazy build here from herO. Is it going to be enough? It's hard to judge. It looks like he's going to kill the queens, but there are Zerglings in herO's main, and they're on the wrong side of the pylon here. Though Solar didn't quite realize he had gotten through for a moment. So overall, Where does this leave us? Because herO doesn't do critical damage to Solar, and Solar doesn't do critical damage to herO. Both of them, though, getting a better scout of their opponent. And there is one part of that scout missing, though. With those oracles so focused at the front, he wasn't worrying about what was happening behind. And that means when you go for more charge lots, for Immortals, despite the fact Solar was defending with roaches and lings, he's well massed on the Mutalisk. The Mutas are about to pop out, and there is no inclination towards anti-air right now for herO. Well, he's gonna see them. Yep, those are Mutas. Phoenix starts immediately. Instead of bothering with Storm, he cancels Storm and morphs Archons, and they will be completed moments after the Mutas get here. So the Muta's not gonna have to contend with them, but they will avoid that base for now. But a complete blindside. He managed to get Mutas out without herO even thinking about them until they were already flying across the map, which is a great sign for Solar here so far. And behind this, he's adding more. And are we going to continue down the Muta road? 14 so far. Going up to 20? Well, if you can get the drop on the Protoss like this, then even having 5 or 6 Phoenixes might not be enough, because now Solar has total and utter map control. Sure, well, this is what happens. Even the Oracles aren't fast enough to get away, unless Solar misclicks on the destructible rocks. Which is kind of hilarious that that's even plausible, but the Phoenix has taken some hits. He's trying to use some of the glaive bounces to hit the Phoenixes as well. And there just aren't enough of them to significantly reduce the Muta count. So far, Solar starting to gain a massive supply lead. The Forges, in usually one of the more safe locations, the Phoenixes, a couple more just wander into the Mutas. Those need to be almost constantly microed. Technically, they can counter the Mutalisk, but in these numbers, practically, it's insanely difficult. He literally can't focus on anything else, or something like that'll happen. He's got some Archons inside here, but the Mutas just head to the main. They may be able to just kill the Stargate outright, let alone any Phoenixes that come out of it. The Archon drop threatening, but he may very well lose the Prism, and the Archons themselves are not that scary if there's some magic box splitting, using the stop command, or maybe hold position in order to keep those Mutas from eating all of the splash damage. Overall, Solar has played this one well. Solar just keeps, it feels like Solar just keeps getting better and better. Other players, they're good too, but Solar has been adapting as this patch goes on. He's finding the weaknesses in a lot of the top players. Maru earlier, herO now, I mean, this is just game 1, but herO has been essentially outplayed at every turn. There's been no moment, maybe when the Oracles came in, but there's been no real moment where it looked like Solar was in serious danger. A clean execution. And Solar, a deserved game 1 here in the Korean Star League. herO, a bit of an awkward opener. I could definitely see it working if he got some more damage early. Or even if Solar had stuck on roaches. herO was well prepared to counter that Roachling Bane composition, the one that almost every Zerg goes for nowadays. But instead, well, Solar slipped the Mutas in, and herO started bleeding out. Jimmy, the game! Game 2. herO gonna have to kind of go back to the drawing board, I think, after that one. I like the idea, but the execution, even from the first Oracle, committing the Oracle when there are 2 queens already firing at you, felt ambitious, is a nice way to put it. Reckless is a better one, I think. As even if you kill a couple drones, even risking the Oracle, and you can't, the lost technology to repair mechanical things was lost, only the Terrans have it, for some reason. As a Protoss, you have an Oracle at 1 HP. It will remain at 1 HP unless you can convince some SCV to come in and help you. So when you take that sort of damage early, you've now taken a lot of the combat effectiveness of that Oracle out. And over time, that adds up. I don't think Solar did anything crazy there. Just calm, cool, collected, kept it together, used the mute as well, didn't overcommit. I don't know. This is the annoying part about Solar. He's always so good, but he doesn't have any really defining character traits. Like, besides getting nuked every once in a while, but that's not even really a character trait. I guess character traits don't need to be positive. As many of you D&D, I bet there are a few D&D nerds out there, and I bet that's underselling it. But he just doesn't take a lot of damage. He puts it together and counterattacks. But he doesn't even seem to have like a favorite unit composition. He kind of defines the standard. He'll throw the roaches in, he'll throw the mutas in, but a balanced diet of Zerg. I need Solar to have a signature strategy, okay, like Ultralisk burrow timings or something. But unfortunately, it does seem like Dark has a monopoly on creative Zerg strategies. If only because no one else wants to deal with executing them. Adept Glaives. Well, that is certainly a tone shift. Adept Glaives, one of the most favored strats of many years of Legacy of the Void. Adepts have gone through many changes. It's kind of been figured out, but it is one of those strategies that can just win the game. A lot of Protoss strategies rely on some element of surprise. They are very powerful. But this one has many opportunities with the initial Adepts to just eviscerate your mineral lines, reduce your economy. It's very much feels like even if you defend it, you're behind against a player who knows what they're doing. So if Solar figures it out, even then, that doesn't mean this is the difference kind of between a cheese and an all-in my humble yet well-educated opinion. A cheese is something kind of like say rushing carriers. It can be very good if they don't know it's coming, but if they do, you can directly counter. Whereas an all-in is a little more something like what hero's doing here with the Overlord scouting it. This doesn't significantly reduce the effectiveness of the Adepts. It definitely lessens their chance of winning the game, but already Solar had to limit his own economy in order to build the response, which is a Roach Worm. It is getting more gas in general. It is building units. So even though herO has not killed a drone, he's, through proxy, just through being scouted, has killed some of Solar's drones already. Because Solar has been forced to limit his own economy in order to try to crush this attack. And of course, if he does so, as the first shades come in, if he does so, then he can counterattack and potentially get all that economy and more back. But there's still a big window of opportunity here for herO. RoboBay is on the way back at home, so Disruptor follow-up. Very much expecting Solar to respond directly to this with the roaches, and then looking to smash those roaches into tiny atomized pieces with the disruptors. herO has the... Wow, he brought the Warp Prism all the way back. herO entirely relying on the disruptors. The Adepts were just there to wave in front of Solar's face and say, you gotta deal with this. But I think realizing that Solar is more than ready for the Adepts means herO leaning much further into the Ruptors right now. A whole lot of Zerglings. Zergling's kind of a soft counter to the Disruptors, as one, it's very hard to hit them in general. They're quite quick, known for it, in fact. And also, they have a tendency to be very close to your own units, which creates some complications when using the Disruptors. So, Lings and Banes, definitely one piece of the puzzle. If I wouldn't be surprised, too, if this keeps up, if the Disruptor count continues to grow. Actually, see mutas once again. But here comes herO. He has not slowed down much at home. He's gotten his third now. Is that He got prism speed, too, in order to try to maximize this. Shading the adepts in to draw some attention cancels the full set of shades. That's a lot of adepts. Wow. Disruptor. Oh, he's got to cancel those. He has to. Okay. You have until that last moment. The Spore Crawler moving at quite an inconvenient timing. He's really balled up all these Zerg units, though, giving himself an opportunity. He fired both disruptors, though. And that prism is looking... oh my god. It's a disaster. Well, you can't... in fact, prism speed probably working against herO a bit there. As you need to not lose it. You need to not lose the prism. He lost the prism with both disruptors. That is an utter and total disaster. That... yeah. Well, now it's just a bunch of soon-to-be Blink Stalkers. He's wandering up with a few Ruptors. Does he have a prism to reinforce? Yeah, the prism was not just a ferry for the Ruptors. It was also his reinforcement. So here we go. More Disruptor shots. Solar loses a few Roaches. The top of the ramp is quite a choke point. Zerglings can't really surround. Still laying on the pressure is herO. Shading in the Adepts. Looking for an opportunity to do some damage to the mineral lines. But not going to find it. He needs the Adepts to cover for the Zerglings, as they are best suited for doing so. Good hit with the Ruptors. Another fadeaway shot. herO finding more and more value despite the losses earlier. The Roaches are just not great at moving away, but manages to sidestep one. The fourth base is vulnerable. The Roach count is dwindling. The Zergling counterattack. I didn't even notice in the main, and neither did Solar till he hit the Select All Army hotkey, and then realized he hit the Select All Army hotkey, and concentrated once again on the main. And herO, I don't know what happened at the natural wall, but this complicates things yet again. Though all the Zerglings are on the wrong side of the map and trapped in a prison of, well, herO's design, he actually found a nice spot there to deal with it. 10 drones are going down. Did I hear a recall? Did he recall those stalkers away? I guess. Am I crazy? Yes, I am. There was no recall. So, Solar may have overcommitted with the Zerglings on the other side. The Zerglings, which were sorely needed to deal with this army composition. And now herO... well, he has a proxy pylon. What a mess. This is a sloppy game. Chasing down the Disruptor is Solar. He has Roach speed. It's just Stalkers versus Roaches, which is certainly a numbers game here. Trying to warp in more Stalkers. That probe feeling very stressed right now, as it's right in front of all these Roaches. The fight continues all over the screen. Solar is down to 50 drones. He lost that fourth base. herO still has a 3-base economy, so in the long run, herO should be able to stabilize. But Solar does clean it up as herO straying a little too deep with the Stalkers. Bit of a mess of a game so far. Baneling speed is on the way, which... an interesting choice considering the situation. Eventually you do want Baneling speed, but Solar is really suffering economically right now. And Banelings are not going to do too much against Blink Stalker Ruptor. Alright. Now what? Another Robo. Oh, the Observer. He spotted it, dealt with it with a Corrosive Bile. No upgrades, not even a Forge for herO. Still wondering what happened with those Zerglings. Solar, I don't know if there was a unit in the wall. herO was a bit notorious for not leaving a unit in the wall. He's hard-walled himself in before to avoid that. And now you see that Disruptor waiting for its moment. 61 workers apiece. Zergling counter. Stalkers warped in. +2 melee is on the way, and that's where Baneling speed comes in. You want the +2 melee to be able to roll the Bane. Yep. Ah! Okay, well, Blink's in the block, but as you can see, herO with only a passing commitment to walling off his natural. If only the Protoss had invented doors. Well, maybe they would have invented repair, too, and that would have been too overpowered. Corrosive Biles, late on the draw, but the blink away. We'll pull back for a moment. Disruptor shot. Solar gets clipped by a hit. Another one coming through. Corrosive Bile finds a Stalker, but herO with more than enough Stalkers to wander in towards the fourth. Great dodge from Solar, but the entire moment he's dodging, he's not actually doing any damage to the Stalkers here. The biggest issue overall. Draws a Disruptor into the Stalkers, but it's not enough. What a mess of a victory from herO, but a victory nonetheless. He manages to maneuver Solar into position and take down all of it. I wasn't sure what was happening most of the time. I think the player's a bit confused as well. Solar felt like they were going to a later game, and then herO just keeps hitting them. Okay, well, we're going to game 3. herO manages to drag one back. Dragon Scales. Okay. Alright, calm down, reset. And hopefully the players will as well, as we're all tied up. The obligatory probe chase, as the probe does its best to mildly annoy the Zerg. Didn't manage to block the hatch. Not sure if he sent it out early enough or if this is just a delayed scout. But hatch pull, I don't expect any sort of super early aggression from either side. Cannon rushes have mostly gone by the wayside for your average Protoss. Just not as effective between the shield battery, only starting with 50 energy. As well as Void Rays getting a nerf. Just in general, the shield battery cannon all-ins are only for the bravest and possibly foolish, which are two sides of the same coin among us. Adept coming across. Probe getting hunted down. Third base about to be built, so we're going to be pretty comfortable. As a Zerg player, it's just so much more comfortable to have your natural at your natural. Getting that naturally up instead of dealing with, it's the creep spread, it's the transfer distance of drones, and that's part of the reason why Protoss players are so adamant about denying the base so much, is it really opens up, quite literally, opportunities to pick off units between the bases, to split the queens, so that way they can't all concentrate in one area. It helps out a lot, especially with things like oracles and adepts. But no oracles this game. Is herO? Yeah, there was a bit... No, I don't think that's right. Close enough. Actually, the overlord on that pervert pill. Yeah, it's not. That's... I think that gateway's a little bit... Just a very... Just kind of wide stance. Anyone in that wall. Nope, he fills it in with a fire. Okay. Totally intentional. DT. Dark Templar drop will be the choice this time around. A bold move. Roach Warren's on the way. There are suspicions. He sees the double gas down here. The fact there hasn't been a Stargate unit yet coming out, well, it should have shown up right around now at the latest. No Spore Crawler built. Will he build a detection spore? Is the question. The Warp Prism's coming out. Solar. The Dark Shrine is still a few seconds off completion. A single spore is built at the third. Okay. Kind of it's still ambiguous here, I think. Right up until the Zerglings run right by a prism that is suspiciously devoid of units. Where's that fourth DT? Usually you want 4 in order to be able to make 2 Archons. But Solar with perfectly timed Spore Crawlers. DT Blink is on the way. And incredibly bold. Yeah, it looks like he's going to keep them as Dark Templar. We're in store for another incredibly messy game. I've never seen a game with DT. Well, there are 2 choices. The game just ends, like, one way or another, right as DT Blank is shown or used. Or it gets really weird. Because even though DT Blank not nearly as, it is not a common upgrade. Especially not in the early game. It's not, oh my god, a Zergling got... You gotta grip it in the wall! herO. Well, he got in with the Zergling, and he will see. Did you know that there are 3 DT faces? Yeah. Well, he will see those DT faces burning their eyes out, or whatever they do when they upgrade. He'll see it upgraded. He knows. Roaches are needed. Blink is done in a moment, but he just strides right in. Oh my. Blink's out. The Overseer shouldn't be able to catch it until it gets OV speed momentarily, which may make all the difference here. The thing is, the DTs might be able to just win the fight. He could blink away. Yeah, well, okay, so this is... Huh. This did not go well. OV speed, the built-in counter. Another situation where Solar got in. He saw the Dark Shrine upgrading. It's a weird scenario to say that OV speed is the counter, but in this case, very much yes. The ability to chase down and kill those pesky Dark Templar. 1, incredibly satisfying. 2, effective. So... a DT Blink shutdown, though herO still has a solid economy behind this. He's got 67 probes, which is actually about equal with Solar right now. Everybody get out! Get out! But we don't wait for anyone. I think somebody was lagging. Just in awe of these dramatic strategies. Once more, then out. Yeah, Kano. Tell him. Maddox laying down the law. We'll have to see. The saga will continue. Blink is on the way. Like regular Blink, vanilla Blink. Not dark chocolate Blink. The Shadow Stride will Dark Templar Blink. That is a lot of units here out of herO. Adding some Archons in as well. The Zerglings looking for the surround though. And without the Disruptors here, but a little late to the party. It's a handful of Roaches. The Archon kind of stuck on its own to the north. This attack, everything kind of trickled into the fight. Which doesn't work as well for the Protoss army, which really needs everything in one place. The Immortals, he picks up 1, but the rest is routed by the Roaches. Not a bit of a disjointed attack. I think he... And there's nothing in the wall. herO! The Zerglings get in. And he might have the probe count right now, but he's not able to warp in enough units. And this disjointed defense... well... Now Robo at the third base. A Disruptor comes out, taken out after a mediocre shot. The Zerglings still giving him the runaround. herO not able to pull it together here. I think the makings of an interesting build. But Solar just rips him apart. You can't make these mistakes. You can't let the Zerglings in, whether it's 1 or 100. The first Zergling scouted the DT Blink, allowing Solar to blunt the force of that attack. And then the rest of the Zerglings just pulled apart the defense. Overall, a pretty critical set of mistakes there. And Solar is going to take full advantage. Solar not making those mistakes, taking advantage of all the information that herO is giving him. And I say giving because this is an angry coach. Okay. So, we'll just see. herO still can turn it around. It's match point, but it's not over yet. As we go into game 4. Yes, 4. Jimmy. Royal blood. All right, herO. It just feels like he's throwing darts at the board, and even the game on Ancient Cistern, that easily could have gone the other way. Solar getting a little caught, not able. That is the strength of the early Glaive Adept compositions. Even when they don't go great, they still go pretty well, as long as you keep the Adepts alive. And Solar kind of self-limited his economy so much that he was vulnerable to the Ruptors, despite herO losing his first double Ruptor. It's just been a sloppy series out of herO so far. Solar still... The quality assurance you have on a Solar game, which makes him... He's approaching SC2 levels of boring, which is a compliment, I might add. Where, especially in non-mirror matchups, you look at a SC2 game, you know most of what you're going to get. He's probably going to be incredibly solid. He might make a couple small mistakes, but the big picture, and especially if his opponent makes any dramatic mistakes like letting a Zergling in, which is something SC2 seems to be so good at, then you know he's just going to take that advantage and run with it. And even if the game goes some more minutes, he's going to continue having that advantage the whole time. He's not going to give it up. And Solar is approaching that level of, I see, I know, I conquer. And I came somewhere in there, but I'm not sure how that relates to everything. And, well, are we still doing phrasing? Well, Overlord glides in. Moving on. Oracle, herO back to the Stargate. A more stable opener here. The Queens in production. Oracle comes out very quick Oracle. He's already across the map at 345, but that doesn't mean Solar's unprepared. Don't do it. Oh my god. Ah! He saw an undefended mineral line, but Solar knew we would have enough Queens to defend. herO almost made the mistake. He loses. He's down to 25. He's 1/4 HP on that Oracle. Before, with doing no damage. Not ideal. Solar's playing so well. You can tell how much herO wants that drone. That one drone transferring. But is it worth it? Somehow he finds himself jammed into the corner. The blackness of the void. Interesting that the map just kind of ends there. You look at it from the wrong angle and you'll see the plane of the universe. Nest T staring in. Most of you are old enough to get that. Stasis, but another... These oracles are taking so much damage. Are there chairs over there? Here, looking for an opportunity. Leads with the less damaged oracle in an attempt to... Okay, the Zerglings don't get in. He kills 5 drones. I'm rooting for herO here, as it has not been a great series for him. But Solar finds another opportunity. Kills a couple of Adepts. He's out of the wall! Get back to the wall! How many times? A probe, at least, is there. But he's going to lose a bunch of gateway units. The oracles come back. He loses Stalkers. Zergling almost kills another Stalker. Just for Zerglings here. And the oracles all came home. All 4 oracles. Solar is building a dropper lord. But only one. Oh my. Only one! Which, is he doing a queen timing? Does he have OV speed? He does. Yes, the queen attack force. The aggressive knitting crew. We'll come up with something clever. Yes. The royal blood. I know. Beware my creativity. Yes, the royal blood will glide in. Can drop some creep, build some tumors, basic defense against those oracles, 4 queens with energy on creep in order to transfuse should be enough. Shield battery overcharge, I don't think so much. And already some of those oracles are damaged from earlier, but the transfuses, he drops the creep, and Solar! Once again, a measured attack. He doesn't bring everything. He still has a pretty okay economy at home. He doesn't bring all the queens, just enough. And combined with the roaches, the ravagers, and the zerglings, he's overrunning the third. herO has nothing to defend. He has nothing in the wall. The zerglings are in the main. The third base is dead with creep tumors to watch over its destruction. And Solar looking to put an exclamation point on the very first non-Terran, non-Maru victory here in the Korean Star League. Of course, it's only week 3, but Maru has swept the field. I don't know if Maru played this week, but I'll have to check. He didn't make it this far, clearly. Oh, an Immortal? Not enough. The creep is spreading outside his base. The Royal Blood continue to march forward. herO's still in the game, but he's out of the series. I hate to be that guy, but the queens will retreat. Their job finished. Maybe to do some of that mid-map creep spread, like another one of those Diamond League tips. The creeps are almost connecting at this point. The oracles came back across. Some of the home defense queens will be enough to deal with it. Solar. Wow. I can't believe he just goes back in Are you kidding me? Who goes back in macros after this? He probably could have killed him if he pressed in, if he continued rallying. He has the standing army right now to do so. God, it's so, instead of doing the mid-map creeping, he's just going to work on the edges, which makes a lot of sense, is a safe call, and also boring. What is this? What am I watching? Why are there 2 sentries here? Well, he knows where you are. He has creep. The sentries will be able to protect themselves, but not the Nexus. herO is trying to clear the creep off his front lawn. Okay, there's borrowed time. I don't know. Maybe if herO's able to clear out this creep and take his third base back, he's adding on charge. He's chrono boosting out Immortals. And with the oracles able to do some counter damage. Solar, on the other hand, is still stuck on this early game unit composition. herO barely manages to escape with those oracles. And that will be enough to put together an army to move out. Solar, on the other hand, all he has, Lings, Banes, Ravagers, all things that can be killed by what herO's put together. And here comes no Baneling speed either. Force fields looking good so far. The Banelings trickling by. Another round of force fields. The wave defense is looking good. He still has the queen drop to contend with, but herO's micro so far has been immaculate. And tries another force field. Baneling speed not done. Getting closer here. herO struggling. The sentries are going to explode, but he still has some blink stalkers. The queen's behind. The Immortals will go down. The Banelings will roll in. And with it, Solar might be able to close the distance on those stalkers, but still, no, he's super dead. Super dead. Honestly, herO did a little better than I thought in that fight, but Solar, that was a BM move. Dropping the queens in on it. Come on. Solar styling a little bit, just a little flourish at the end there. But overall, Solar, a deserving victor, takes home the first non-Maru, non-Zerg Korean Starlink Championship. A clean victory over a relatively sloppy herO. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out and support the Korean Starlink. I believe they're changing up the schedule a little to accommodate more players soon. TM. But make sure to check out this video as well that Jimmy picked out just for you. At this point, it's probably Solar. Considering how much he's been playing in lately and winning. But thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned.